Hello to all my stitching friends here in FlossTube. Let's start with what today is. Today is October 3rd. It's a beautiful, sunny day in Colorado. It's Friday. So I'm Dr. Janelle Meredith. This is my FlossTube Vintage Threads and Samplers. And so hello to everybody. Hello to all my stitching friends. I'm really happy to be here. It's been about 8 months, so it's been quite a while. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to my followers who watch my FlossTube, even though I haven't done one in a long time, and who like my Instagram photos. I have fun doing that. So, thank you. And I have a lot to share. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I did pick up some blueberry muffins for us. Lisa Ann's Bakery here in Thornton makes the best baked goods, and those blueberry muffins are to die for. Tried to get up early this morning and make us some blueberry scones. I just couldn't get to everything that I needed to today. So, grab a coffee, tea, water, matcha, something to drink. Grab something to munch on. I wish we were together live and you could enjoy these blueberry muffins. And I'll get started. So I have a lot to share. Like I said, I finished the last two designs that I wanted to get done. I did a reproduction sampler, needlework press one. I changed it a little bit, and I have some freebies. So it's been 8 months. It was February, I think I did my last video. After that video, it was right before my birthday, or my birthday was in March, and I just got this idea that I wanted to get into quilting. Now, I have a lot of quilt books. I have a lot of quilts that I've bought up at the Golden Quilt Shop in Golden, Colorado. Beautiful ones. And I just kind of felt like, oh, maybe I need to get into quilting myself. So that, you know how one idea just takes you down this journey. You're like, oh my gosh, didn't know we were going there. So it started with, I want to do quilting. So for my birthday, the girls got me some quilting books, this little thing about quilting templates. I haven't taken it apart. Nicole bought that for me. Erica bought me some books. And so I've got everything put together. I've been to the used bookstore. I picked up some quilting books, two of them that are just amazing. I'll show them on Instagram by, I'm going to say his name wrong. He's a famous quilter. Coffee Fawcett, maybe that's how you say it. And I'm looking for his book on Swedish quilts. I think that would be a fun one to have, in addition to the other two that I have right now. So quilting's now become my, like, I want to do that. How do I get there? What's going to take? And I have a sewing machine. Now it's very simple. It's very basic. I have shared that in the past I sewed the girls some doll quilts. I used to make my summer dresses with a different machine that my mother had given me, and I don't know what happened to that machine. We moved several times. I don't even know what happened. But anyway, I have sewn, and I made Kevin and I ski pants and jackets when we were first married. Man, was I trying to impress him. So, and we went skiing. But anyway, I have some skill, not a lot. So this whole quilting thing, well then Joann's Fabrics is having a quilting sale, right? They're going out of business. So I'm like, okay, first of all, let's get a sewing machine, get my sewing machine. Let's figure out where I'm going to quilt, where I'm going to sit and sew. And then I can go down to Joann's, and it's going to be like all these steps that I have to take. Well, the first step was getting the sewing machine out of the basement. Well, then that led to, oh, we have all these boxes. What's in the boxes? I found some of my rescued samplers that I hadn't decorated with yet. I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I use this? So just kind of going through boxes, getting things together. And then at the same time, Kevin's folks are moving off the farm and into town into a 2-bedroom apartment home. And so Kevin was gone quite a bit this summer, going down there to help them with that transition from home into town. And we had some beds here, mattresses, furniture in the basement. So we loaded up a truck. He took that to the farm, to the new apartment home, to see what they could use. My sister Stacy joined in that whole adventure, helping Kevin and his folks. I couldn't go. And then going through all this stuff, we're like, we should join the community garage sale and get rid of all these things that we have. At the same time, Erica was moving, had ended the lease on her 2-bedroom apartment home in California and LA. So here come 2 U-Haul boxes full of her things that she hadn't seen in 2 years. Beautiful furniture, bookcases, all kinds of stuff. So we're taking things out of the basement. We're putting things in that belong to her. So we had enough. It's a full-size basement, so we had room to kind of partition everything off. So that led to all this redecorating. I decided to redo the gathering room here. That's what I'm calling it, the living room gathering room. Took the big screen TV down. I put a linen screen print there. I put an antique frame around it. We love it. I moved the sideboard that was in the foyer here into this room. Almost dropped it and broke my leg. Thank you, Lord, I didn't. It's crazy. It tilted, and I'm like, ah. I was able to pull it back up, and it didn't fall into this cabinet. It was just right here where I was moving it. It tilted. And then I moved chairs that were here up to the loft. Chairs that were in the loft came down here. Just this whole, I don't know, Meredith HGTV makeover is what we were doing. But it was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it. So what started out is I'm going to do quilting, and I need a table, and I need my sewing machine, led down to all these other opportunities to do redecorating. I had a table. It was a long office desk table. And I thought, well, let's put that in my craft office room. Well, it was full. There was no room for it. So Kevin said, well, where do you want it? Okay, let's put it in the library. There's this little alcove library off our bedroom. Set it there, set it up. It was kind of quirky. And I'm, no, that's not going to work. So back to my office craft room. Took everything down, took the samplers down. That is a bedroom that we've taken the sliding closet doors off, and that's where my bookcases were set back into that. So we decided to pull the bookcases out, put the table there, the desk, put the sewing machine there, and then that gives you room to sit and sew. We put the bookcases on the other wall, and oh man, it was a lot of work. So that room is done. I'll put pictures on Instagram. So my office is redone. Got another storage unit in there. All the samplers are up. It's like maybe too much, but I love it. And then it was time to get some quilting items. The girls for my birthday bought me some books, like I said, and some templates. And then I go off to Joann's, having a big sale. They're closing out. I thought, well, let's see what I need. I go down the quilting aisle. I'm pulling all these items. They could have made $1 million off of me that day. I'm buying everything like quilt, quilt, quilt. It says quilt on it. So I take it up to the counter and I said to the sales lady, I'm getting into quilting, so I think I need all these things, right? Can you help me? She's very sweet, very nice. She goes, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that. So she saved me some money, but she also knew. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a novice. I'm a beginner really getting into quilting. Well, then I wanted to buy fabric. So I picked out some really pretty fabrics. Can't wait, right? In my mind, I'm thinking log cabin quilt. Yeah, that's like an expert does log cabin quilts, but it's my goal. So I take all these fabrics over to her to cut, and she said, you know, there's a 3-yard minimum. I just want a yard. Nope, got to get 3 yards. Okay, so I did. So I have all this fabric. Not sure what's going to happen, but it's there. So, and then I went to the used bookstore. I found quilting books. I mean, I just have gone crazy with this quilting, and I haven't started. But I'm constantly being asked. Kevin's like, when are you going to start quilting? The girls, Mom, are you quilting? My sister texted me last week. Sis, are you quilting? Wah! The pressure. But anyway, I'll get there. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. And really, I told everybody I want to finish 2 projects before I get into quilting. And with all this redecorating and moving and unloading and unpacking boxes, this is taking time. So let's talk about my cross-stitch projects. I wanted to finish the last in the series of the Me Familia. My grandparents, I wanted to honor my grandparents in Colorado with their Colorado homestead that they built from scratch. Home, garden, floral garden, the animals, the orchard of fruits. I mean, it was amazing. And we have a history of that. My Aunt Lola, my dad's sister, wrote about their journey. And it's so fun to read and kind of think about that time for them. So I think in my last video, I showed you this design I had done. It was very, very big. It was amazing. I'll insert the picture here. And I had this big piece of weeks dye worked cocoa linen, probably 40 count, and I was, it was going to be big. And I had, at that video, I had just done a little bit, started the top border. After the video, I'm like, okay, better get busy. It's going to take you all summer. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't. No, this is too much. Stop. You've gone crazy. So back to my Max Stitch program and really thought about what did I want this sampler to be about? What did I want it? It didn't need to be 20 alphabets and blah, 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 right? It didn't need to be that big. And the inspiration for that, some of that came from a sampler that I saw on Pinterest that had my grandma's name on it, part of her name, Josefa. Either said Josefa Gonzalez, and it was very pretty. And it came through the Nichols Museum. So I wrote to them and said, I'd like to know more about this sampler, and I want to use it for inspiration for one that I'm designing for my grandparents. And they're very nice. They got back to me and they just said, well, it's an antique. Sure, you can use it for inspiration. It's copyright, but you couldn't like make it just like that and sell it. And of course I knew that, but I just thought, well, I liked the way it was designed with all the alphabets, and that's where I went. But then sitting down to stitch it, I was like, no, you can't do that, stop. So I redesigned it, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to put it on Etsy to sell. It's more of a personal sampler that I did in honor of them. Now, if anybody's interested, I'm happy to share this with you. So here it is. I've got one set of alphabet. I've got the scripture, the greatest commandments, and then I try to capture the orchard with the trees, the apples and the peaches, the house, the barn, the shed, the chicken coop, what else is there? The vegetables, the animals, and then the floral motifs for my grandma's garden. I have on there my grandpa, and me as a little girl. And then there's a snake right there. Vegetables. So I have a funny story. And also I didn't do as many floral motifs as I did on that other design because I had already done Josefa's de Chara, which is in honor of her with the floral motifs. So that little snake, I'm going to put this down. I was staying with them in the summer, and we're getting ready to go outside, and this, so there's the house, and then there's this back utility room. So you can come into the utility room, close the door, open the door into the house. The utility room is just, where you throw your hat, your shoes, your coats, just, it's got storage for some things. So we're going out. Here comes this little snake. I'm screaming bloody murder, top of my lungs. Grandma comes, she sees the snake, she sees my reaction. I'm sure looking back, I wish I could ask her, Grandma, were you laughing at me? So she sends me down the road, about a block away to the neighbor's house and tells me to go get the gentleman, our neighbor, to come. So I'm running like 100 miles an hour, lickety split. Snake, it's going to kill all of us, right? Like you're a child, this little snake. He comes. Time we get back, she's already had a shovel and she's killed the snake. It's dead. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Relief. Grandma. And anyway, just a funny story about being a child and afraid, and she took care of it. Goodness, you didn't need to go get the neighbor, but I think she did that more for me than for her. So it was a funny, scary story to tell my folks when I got to go back home and just say there was a snake that almost came in the house. So the snake's in the sampler. Now my grandparents were very generous people. They shared all of the fruits of their labor, the apples, the tomatoes, cucumbers, corn, strawberries. I mean, everybody knew them in that community. So I thought this scripture really reflected who they were. Matthew 22:37-39. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. So they embodied that, and I wanted to pull that out and offer it as a free PDF to you all. It will be in my Etsy shop. I think we all know you have to put a monetary value on anything on Etsy. I'll put the lowest amount. I think it's like $1, maybe $2, and then you can download it. It's got in color. Oops, that's the black and white. Color, and then the black and white, and then the legend. So free gift. I'm very happy to share all of that with you. So that was getting that project done. Then the next project I wanted to get done was my last design. However, in between that, I was just ready to take a break. So I did this one. Stacy Nash. It's a pin keep. It's a French hen. And so I did this sampler wall over here with a lot of farm animals and different samplers about farm life. And so I just thought this would fit perfectly over there. It fits, it's really pretty. I love it. So Stacy Nash, and I did all the colors that are called for in the pin keep, except for maybe these flags there are supposed to be red, and I did them in blue. So very cute. Isn't she sweet? That's a fun one. And then, oh, I did something else that I wanted to give away as free. I have this little egg crate over here on the counter, and I'll insert a picture. It used to be back here, and it has eggs, little ceramic eggs, sitting in it for decoration. So this antique egg crate says on the back of it, original, it says fragile, and then on the side, oh, it says fresh, and then on the side, it says eggs. And then in the front, it says 3 dozen eggs. It's when you buy all those eggs in that crate. So I decided to just do fragile farm fresh eggs to decorate that lid. And we'll insert a picture here. So again, this is free. I just thought maybe someone would want to use that to decorate in their kitchen. So that one's done. Now, my last design is this one. A rose sampler. I think we all know that saying, take time to stop and smell the roses. When I think about that saying, I also think about Ecclesiastes 3 and where God tells us there's a season to everything in our lives. And we need to trust Him during the challenging times, hard times, right? So, oh, I showed you the sample. Here it is. I love it. I love it. This frame was a frame from Michael's that I rubbed some blue chalk paint on it to kind of give it more mottled. The fabric is a piece of fabric I dyed, and then the colors. Don't drop it. I have cast iron skillet from Sampler Threads. I have Gloriana coffee bean. The brown is the border. And then Tuesday, this really pretty red for the alphabet. And then I used DMC floss for the roses. And the rose motif came out of my Max Stitch program. So love that. That'll be in my Etsy shop if you want to buy it, if you're interested. I just thought it turned out perfect. And again, that's my last design. The Mi Familia series is done. I've honored my grandparents on my dad's side, my grandma on my mom's side. Her dad died when she was very young, so really it's honoring the Mendoza family. I have finished the alphabets out of that antique Spanish primer. I did a sampler honoring my grandma and both grandmas, Josefa's de Chato and then Jane's Fiesta. And then I did an Adam and Eve in Spanish, and I've done Merry Christmas in Spanish. I think that's it. So with Sampler September, I knew I wanted to do one of my antique reproductions of Mexican samplers. I have this pattern. It's from Needlework Press. I love it. Saw that at my local needlework shop and bought it right away. Now, getting ready to do it, I'm like, oh, I don't don't know if I like these fat little flowers. They need to be more detailed. Oh, I don't know if I like the border. Right, we're fussy. So here it is. I loved all this. I decided to use that rose motif, and then I just used Felicidades, which is congratulations. This frame is from Michaels. This linen is, I believe, cocoa. At least I wear cocoa. And then here are all the different colors I used. Chocolate cream pie was here, but it wasn't in the legend. I had chocolate cream pie, and I thought, well, let me just use that and kind of figure out how I want it to use a lot of these colors in this little reproduction sampler. Got that done on Sunday, just in time for Sampler September. And framed, finished, pinned it, framed it, love it, so excited. So those are my finished projects. As I've said, I'm going to get into quilting. I'm really excited to just take my time and do some projects. I have a book I bought years ago, a long time ago. And it's really fun because it starts with very simple projects to more difficult projects. So like the first one's bookmark, and then it's placemats, book covers, and then you slowly build your skill set. And so that's kind of fun. One of the books that I found at the used bookstore, I think that's where I found it. Maybe it was at Resource Thrift Shop. It's called The Idiot's Guide to Quilting. I thought, oh, that's what I need. I need help. So I've got lots of resources, lots of tools. I've got fabric. I have my sewing machine out. So it'll be fun. I'm going to start here in a week to just sit down and really focus on that. I don't want to give up my stitching, of course. And so the next project I'm going to work on is big. I'll take my time doing it over the winter. This is it. Maria Soron. It's a 6-part antique reproduction. I guess that's how you say it, a Mexican sampler. Lindsay Lane Designs has the antique, and they did this. Now, I saw information. I saw this actually in a FlossTube. I think that's what it was. It was Jean and Carolyn from the Attic Needlework, and they had it. They held it up. It's really big, and this is, I guess, years ago. So I thought, oh, that's really cool. Let me do some research. So I had already bought part 6, not knowing it was, or part 5, not knowing it was 5 total. So I reached out to Attic Needlework, and they let me know. So I bought the rest of the patterns I didn't have. And then I waited a couple years, and then I reached out to them again recently and said, hey, I'm ready to start this. What are the colors? This is from their website. What did you change? Because the colors in the pattern are bright, and I like this subtle color, more muted. And so they said, well, we have it as a package, the silks, you can buy those. So I said, okay, thank you. And I thought about it. Well, I'm going to insert a picture here. I have a piece of fabric. It's 40 count Belfast linen that I've dyed. It's very modeled, very pretty, old vintage looking. And then I have all these Avoire Soie silks from a pattern I bought, honestly, maybe 30 years ago. Long time ago. The girls were little. And I've just held on to those. I'm sure it was some pattern. They're like, here's the pattern, here's the silks you need. I'm like, okay, I'll buy it all. And then they got separated, and then I've just held on to it, right? I'm like, okay, someday I'll use these silks. Never had stitched with silk except for my few kits that I've bought. So now, here they are. They're beautiful. I'll insert a picture here of the linen I'm going to use, all the silks, and then I pulled the colors that are called for. And so I'll just do my own like matching. If it's yellow, I'm going to use gold, and if we're a Soie, which gold do I use? And this, I'm not going to go buy stuff. I'm going to use what I have. So very excited. Going to take my time doing this. Isn't that beautiful? And then I have a few other Mexican reproduction samplers. I'm reorganizing, like I said, my office because I took it all apart. And honestly, I hate to say this, but I'm probably going to sell a lot of stuff that I've bought over the years. Beautiful books and patterns. I know I'm not going to get to it all. I have some stiffness in this finger right here. And so, it gets stiff every now and then. And I was telling Erica about it the other day, and she said, Mom, is that from cross stitching? Heavens, no. How dare you say that? This is not from cross stitching. So maybe, maybe not. Um, I know I won't be able to stitch all these books that I have, and they're beautiful, and I'd rather sell them to people who are looking for them. I'm not sure if some of them are out of print. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to take a lot to get it organized and ready. Right now, I'm just going to hold on to. I have some French samplers I really want to do. I have 6 reproduction Mexican samplers I know I want to do. I have a whole grouping of samplers that focus on home, from Brenda Gervais, from Shakespeare's Peddler. I'm trying to think of some of the other designers. And so those are in a grouping where I think I want to do all those into a wall of homes, right? Like the Welcome Home or something. I don't know. And then I have the German samplers I bought a couple years ago. I have the English samplers I bought from Jane out of England. I mean, I've just got so much. Some of those I'll hold on to. I'm hoping the girls will stitch someday. I doubt it. I don't know anybody in my family that does cross stitch, so if I did, I'd just gift it to them. So, anyway, it's time to really make that transition to you can't stitch everything and stop buying, even though I've got a list of things I want to buy. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping my daughter, who's my producer, can merge these 2 videos together. This has been a lot of fun just sharing with you what I've done. Like I said, it's a busy, busy year this spring and summer. I'm thankful I was able to get a little bit of stitching in, and now I can just focus on one project, not feel pressured to get a floss tube done. I so appreciate all of you that do monthlies. You must be like speedster stitching. I've already told you in the past, I'm a slow stitcher. Just take my time. I use a hoop. I'm usually watching some crime show, British crime show. I don't know. I also like Longmire. I mean, I have a lot of shows that I've watched several times because I know what's going to happen. I can stitch and just like pay attention, not really pay attention to the show, except the crime shows. I do like those. So, all good stuff. Happy stitching. Hope you enjoyed this fall going into the Christmas season. I've already, with this whole redecorating, I'm like, oh no, where am I going to put the tree? Because we always put the Christmas tree right here in front of these windows. And I'm like, oh no, now I'm going to have to move the blue sideboard again. I don't know about that. Anyway, all good stuff. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.